Listeners, welcome back. You're listening to the New Game, Old Game podcast, powered by No Alumni. Today, we're doing something really important. You hear us say this show is powered by No Alumni. But what is No Alumni? Where did it come from? And what does it actually stand for? We're going to unpack the heartbeat behind it, the movement, the mission, and even the inspiration behind Scully, the skull you've seen on the logo, the merch, in the thumbnails, and more. Because this podcast didn't just show up randomly. It was born out of a larger movement. Let's get started.
Right at the top, I wanted to let you know, while we recorded this episode, one of our microphones experienced a malfunction, resulting in really not good audio for episode 4. If you bear with us and listen through episode 4, we'd be so grateful, as this is the most fun and most rich conversations we've had yet in this podcast. And be assured that we've taken every step possible to make sure that this doesn't happen again. We apologize for this inconvenience, and thanks for listening.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the New Game, Old Game podcast. What episode is this?
I think 4, could be 5, maybe 3.5.
Episode 4.
4.
I decree it.
Decreed.
This podcast is powered by No Alumni. We're so glad you joined us. We've got a new studio set up today. We're very excited about that.
High tech.
Very.
Super high
I don't think our
tech.
listeners know that there's an option to check us out on YouTube. I think a lot of us, a lot of our followers
Yes, many of you.
do the audio only stuff.
We're assuming there's at least 100,000 listening on Spotify alone, and I think YouTube is probably, half that. So we want to invite the other 50,000 to join us on YouTube.
I do see the data. So we have data, and we know.
I don't see the data. Okay.
Greg can't handle data. He is he's an inventor and a galvanizer
A discerner
and a
with
discerner.
a top competency of galvanizing.
So he
doesn't even know. He's such a detail guy.
does not do well with details, of which data is a prime source.
So I do, Matt, hold on.
Wait.
So I do good with details, but in a different way, like pattern recognition.
He said do good.
Do good.
That's he didn't go to. He didn't go to 6th grade.
Are you saying because I didn't go to college that I speak improperly, Matt?
No, I think it's because you're from backwater Pittsburgh.
I
and
am.
You got sent out to the mill
Downtown.
around 5th grade.
Yeah, downtown. You gotta go downtown. It's a little slippy out there. Be careful. I know all kind of Pittsburgh act
Give me
stuff.
some Permantes
Romanties
with the slaw. But
and the fries on the sandwich.
oh, gross.
It's not gross.
Let fries be fries. It'll belong.
I
in
don't
a sandwich.
disagree, but they're not bad. Can I say this? Man, if people from Pittsburgh hear this, it's a little overrated. But it is like worth doing once. Certainly the original one down at the strip district, it's worth going. Like there's franchises, don't waste your time, but the one in Pittsburgh, that is worth
the OG.
The OG.
They still got the sauce.
I think so. It's just it just tastes like the place. Like you got to go there. It's just you can't replicate it. It's the experience. Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Is there a Cleveland place like that?
That'll be on the list.
You had to think about it. No, wrong. There isn't. As much as Northeast Ohio is my home and has been for a long time. They're like, what is it known for food wise? I don't know. Like pastrami or like some pierogies or something.
I would say we are the capital of Italian food and ethnic food generally. So under that, I'd say Italian and Polish, the paczkis, the pierogies.
The capital of what?
And Little Italy.
The capital
in
of Ohio?
England cannot be beat unless you go to Little Italy in like NYC or something.
Every city has a Little Italy. Pittsburgh has one.
I know, but typically they're manufactured and they're fake. Cleveland's is the real deal. The real enchilada.
No, I think
the
you know
wrong
what I think
neighborhood.
Northeast
The
Ohio
real
wins.
cannoli.
They win in the number of Mexican restaurants around.
Oh, well, praise be. That might
I
be
like
why
it,
I'm
yeah.
here.
I like some chips.
I love Mexican.
Okay, if you had one dip, salsa, guac, or cheese dip, you only could pick one and take it with you to a desert island. Which one would you take? Salsa, guac, or cheese dip? Because I know you already forgot those three. Because you went to Notre Dame.
Queso, hands
Okay.
down. Guac is a close second, but I can't say no to queso. My only qualification is It can't be queso at a place like Chipotle where they call queso, but it's really made out of starchy backroom leftover potatoes.
I don't like their queso. I do like their food in general. I feel like most of their food is fresh and delicious, but their queso is I don't know how out of all the quesos in the world they came up with like this is our recipe. Let's roll it out to all 8,000 stores. You're right. Chipotle your queso lacks. So that's going to be
your queso is really old game. We need a new game that shiz.
You do.
How about Tres Portillos?
That's an excellent
A
restaurant.
little Chi-Chi's. Those are the places with high quality.
Is there still a Chi-Chi's?
I think they've closed, but
yeah,
in my dreams.
We can bring them back. We make enough money, Matt, because that's our goal. It's all about making money, not about helping people. We make enough money, we're going to bring Chi-Chi's back. Because I hear opening a restaurant is the way to get rich.
Oh, my goodness. That's a bumper sticker that writes itself. Bringing Chi-Chi's back. Oh, jeez. Okay.
What are we talking about today? Because we've spent a lot of time messing around, which is nice. Because I think and this is what's cool about this podcast. And I'm just going to interrupt the crap out of you today, Matt, because we're trying something new. I think I really appreciate what we've done, and Matt, you really being the force, kind of helping this get together. And I know we're sitting here with us, it's some new stuff. But again, we're going to continue to grow, but. We want it to be more conversational. Certainly, we've got some guests coming. I know we've been saying that, but we certainly do. But having this be more, I don't know, as a conversation, I think is a goal of ours. So, yeah, I don't know. And I guess we're growing, right? Because No Alumni, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today, is sometimes you just do things until you don't have to do things that you have all hashed out and you're already great at in order to start movement. And I think that, we'll look back on these at some point and say, well, we started and we got better. And isn't that how we all work? I know very few people that are great at things right off the rip. So other than Matt is that exception. He's the exception.
Greg's right. We are not all just so naturally gifted. So many of us, including the New Game Old Game podcast, we really put in the work because we care. And because we care to grow and we look forward to going places.
Yeah.
We wanted to say, or we started to say, this podcast, you can watch it on YouTube. I'll let that lie. I think audio is probably better. I wouldn't say we're real lookers. So
speak for yourself, Matt. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez. So we know a lot, based on the data that we brought up earlier, most of you listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. However you take this in, we're so grateful. You might be traveling, you might be commuting, you might be sitting by the pool, you might be exercising, you might be vacuuming the floor. Whatever you're doing, we're glad you're here.
Is there a we get it button? You get it. Nice job, Matt. You did good. This was great. We already kind of said it, and then you had to say it in a less interesting way. So we got there. So that's good. Matt and I are going to probably either hug at the end of this episode, or we're going to, I don't know. What's the opposite of hug? We're not going to punch each other.
I can't say it on air. So
I'm going to give you a hug either way.
In this episode, this is episode 4, we want to take a minute and talk about No Alumni, because we hear, Greg, our listeners hear that this podcast is powered by No Alumni. But wait, this is the New Game Old Game podcast. What in the world is No Alumni? We've never explained it. And No Alumni introduced and gave birth to this podcast. So there's a lot we could share, and probably we'll just share the best points and maybe the meat of No Alumni. Right, Greg? Because No Alumni preceded this podcast,
yes,
and has influenced our thinking and our work and our partnerships in almost every single way. And as a part of explaining No Alumni, we're really excited. We're going to explain Scully to you, the listener. Scully is the No Alumni mascot, icon, logo, everything and anything, whatever you want to call it. And Scully was strategically and thoughtfully designed. It fully captures on paper, in print, digital, on the web, on this podcast. It captures some key elements of the No Alumni DNA, heartbeat, vision. So we want to talk about Scully.
Yeah, I don't think it jumps right out at you. I don't look at it and say, well, that jumps out at me. I get what that means. But I do think I think every good logo or mascot, however you want to call it, I do think it should have some meaning. And it's certainly, I like the look of kind of cool looking skulls, like on a hoodie or on a hat. But it's just, we didn't want to do that just to do that, certainly. And also this was designed, you said it was designed, thoughtfully designed. by a young man named Luke Myers. And I should have had his Instagram handle available. We can maybe we'll put it in the comments. But this was before, in 2023 is really when Scully was birthed. And what a catchy, amazing name, Scully. It's just marketing brilliance. Whoever came up with that. I mean, it's so on point. It's kind of lame. I don't love it, but it's also kind of a little on the nose. But anyway, it was done in 2003. And Matt, you're the AI expert. I assume AI was around. I'm thinking AI has been around a lot longer than we've probably had access to it. I don't know if that's a controversial statement, but this was before AI that we knew. And like, this is his design. And have we used it in other ways to AI to kind of help us use it in other applications? Certainly. But I mean, this was designed by a human being that really creative and put a lot of thought into it. And it was an investment on our part when we didn't have much. And it's not like we have much now, but again, as we grow, it was important to us to get it right.
And so look at Greg's shirt. For those who do got eyeballs on the YouTubes, Scully's on the shirt
with a hard hat. This one's with a hard hat.
We're going to make sure if you're visually engaged in this episode, you will see Scully. And you might notice too that on our thumbnail image of the podcast, wherever you listen, Scully is featured. So that's pretty cool. But wait a minute, Greg. I don't want to talk about Scully yet.
Okay.
Scully is like a reflection back of some core tenets of No Alumni. So first, we got to start with No Alumni. What the heck is No Alumni?
You're going to have me explain it without any preparation? Because this is what's interesting. I'm not even awesome at explaining it yet, but that's okay.
Not true. You are.
Okay.
You are the heartbeat, drum beat, drop a beat, whatever
drop
beat
Okay.
about No Alumni.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could explain it, but it would pale in comparison to how you would be effusive and passionate about telling us what No Alumni is.
Effusive. See, that's a smart word. It's the word of the day so far, unless there's a better one. I'm going to have to try to come up with one. But no, I think, Matt, I would say, maybe you can help me and guide me through it, right? Because you're really good at that. I would say, basically, it's an organization and a brand that started because, you shouldn't feel ashamed of whatever your path is. College is a path, and we've talked about this a bunch. But you don't have to go to college to be successful. It is one way. And I feel like I grew up at a time, and maybe you guys, the upcoming workforce and young people, you think this way too. Like, if I don't, there's something wrong with me. But it's just like there are many paths, whether it's, and it's not anti-education. It's not anti-growth. It's really, I would say, the opposite of that. You're going to learn something every day for the rest of your life, or at least you should try to. It's just, I think, empowering non-traditional paths to success and really helping connect the upcoming workforce to companies that get it. And that's why the New Game, Old Game podcast is, you can't expect to send a young person or the next generation workforce to an organization that has not rethought how they do things in 20, 30, 40, 50 years and expect them to succeed. It's just not possible. So we have a passion to work on both ends of it. In the educational system, I would say, with business. And I think I used the word the other day, positive disruptor in some spaces where I think there needs to be some disruption, and not disruption for disruption's sake, Matt. Not just to just shake it up just because we want to shake it up. It's like shake it up because we see, and there's those of us that see like we see, because we both have strong discernment. Like, there are ways that we can improve this and fix this instead of complaining about each other. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things I went to a leadership retreat because I'm in the roofing space currently, and also obviously with No Alumni. But we went to a leadership retreat, kind of locked ourselves in a cool cottage down in Southern Ohio, and it's like, I don't know how the owner of the company kind of put it. It wasn't corny. It was like, in 3 to 5 years, come up with something. It really wasn't vision, but one of the things on my thing was positively disrupting. And I think one of those things, if I'm looking back, it was certain ways, the educational system, businesses that think the old way. I think that currently the roofing space, and I was going somewhere with that, but positively disrupting, I think, is a way to kind of see what's going on, what's in front of you, whether it's with any business, and like, what can we do, and how should we be thinking maybe to keep playing the game? Because that's really it. That's a Simon Sinek quote, so I can't take it, but continuing to stay in the game is the goal, I think, of anybody in business and life. So just another day to play.
And even though we're not diving into Scully 100% just yet, something you said made in reference to Scully, and that's the disruptive tendency in nature that's a part of No Alumni's ethos and paradigm. That is to say, Scully is not your traditional corporate logo, right?
No, I would say maybe it hinders us, Matt, in some corporate settings, but it is not. I would not call it your traditional corporate logo.
Yeah, so
not at all.
Scully's meant to be provocative, offbeat, and a little different from the crowd because there's this passion behind No Alumni to be disruptive.
Yes.
Like Greg said, not disruptive for disruption's sake, but disruptive because there's a necessary disruption required to jolt us, starting with myself, including Greg. That means us in this room, us as a group, including our listeners, and then just expand those circles out and out and out. Us, our neighborhoods, our communities, our schools, our workplaces. We would all do well to have a little bit of self-examination in a way that we allow to be disruptive. So,
can I say something real quick?
Key part of No Alumni.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Never interrupt.
We said we were going to do that.
You're not interrupting.
So when I was rambling there a little bit, I was trying to find my thought, and I said, if I don't look this up and find it, it's going to drive me nuts to listen to this podcast if I didn't get to it. So positively disrupting, I had written down the generational blame game. And I think like I don't.
Is that a podcast?
It could be. No, this is what
idea?
This is the idea, like positively disrupting the roofing space. I have the modern church. Man, that's an interesting topic. We talk about that later or maybe never. Old game businesses, educational system, and really disrupting the generational blame game. So back and forth, one generation blames another instead of, and I don't like that. When someone says, oh, this generation, they don't want to work. And it's like, was that a good, I don't know, impression of an old person?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sound will play not only now, but later.
So I don't like when the older generations complain about the younger generations just as much as I don't like younger generations dismissing and complaining about older generations. So instead of doing that, right, I think No Alumni and I think this podcast, we want to be a positively disrupting force in stopping that and doing something about it.
Yeah.
Because very few people in life do something about something. They just complain. And I'm done doing that in life.
Yeah.
I've been there. So it's not like I'm perfect or I've got this all figured out, but I've been there and I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah. Wow. There's so much here. So much good. One of the things that I love about No Alumni is that it's for all. So even like you were just saying with the multi-generational comments and ideas you were sharing, No Alumni is it's about unity. It's about coming together. It's about there's not one right way for all. There's not one right prescription. There's not one right path to follow. So it can cut across age demographics. It can cut across skill and industry expertise, demographics, regions, parts of the world, you name it. So I love that part about No Alumni. Another part I wanted to add is that No Alumni, it's multidimensional. No Alumni is this group consisting of a few founders that started this work and are carrying the torch of advancing this work forward. It's also a community. We have solopreneurs, small business owners, executives, team members, family members, and friends from all different parts of life, all different industries, all different parts of the country, you name it, that are plugged into this community, that they appreciate these conversations, they think this way, and they're some of our biggest fans. And so that's just the start when it comes to community. We're going to add to this community businesses, educational institutions, hopefully civic, maybe even governmental agencies, or really any entities that interface with people that have challenges relevant to the things that we talk about and do that are plugged into today's workforce. That automatically includes a whole bunch of agencies. That automatically includes education as a force, as an industry. And so from a community sense, No Alumni is a community where everyone's invited, and we're actively and rapidly continuing to grow that community. So if this is your first listen, or if you know somebody who would want to be plugged into the No Alumni community, check us out. Go to noalumni.com. Start thinking about these ideas. Talk to them about. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, your coworkers about these ideas, and join the community. It's also a brand. We identify with these symbols and these messages, and so you can find these symbols and messages across the internet. You can find them on apparel. That's kind of cool, but a smaller part of No Alumni. It's also a movement. We're like we talked about already. We're really hoping that these things will be capped off and come together to disrupt the way people work, the way people learn, and the way that those who have leadership in those spaces, either with companies, in their communities, or in educational institutions, will also embrace the evolution of how things that might have been true the last 20, 30, 40 years aren't as true anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly where we are sharpening the saw and having great conversations now, and of course, much more in the future with this podcast, the New Game Old Game podcast.
Yep, moving the ball forward. I think it's good. I could add, but I think you said it good, so we can move on if you're good. I think that was great.
How about Scully? Let's shift and allow ourselves down to talk about Scully. Scully is our No Alumni mascot. Scully is the primary mark in our branding. And I'd say there's 5-6 things in Scully that, as we already pointed out earlier in a generic way, we'll get specific here now, that were thoughtfully and strategically kind of put into Scully to be that icon and to be that iconic kind of capstone on the brand.
I think someday to be iconic. Now, certainly now it's in its infancy, but I think the goal one day would work for it to be iconic and would be for it to be recognizable. And I think that, that'd be amazing, because I think that then community has been built. And when we talk about fans, there's something I'll add. Like, I'm a fan of the brand myself. Like, if I didn't like it, or I didn't like Scully, or I didn't identify it, I wouldn't obviously be sitting here. But I think the people that founded it and started it, like both of us, Matt, like, we have to be a fan of what we're doing. So I'm not saying I'm the taste maker for the world, but we hope that other people get it. And again, we grow too. That we can't stay stagnant either. But appreciate you as fans, but certainly more of a community. And I'm a fan of all of you. If you guys are listening to this, man, I'm your biggest fan. And anything I can do to help you guys grow and do things and do some awesome things and share your stories, we want to do that. So that's something I think Matt might have left out, but he really gave it a good. And again, we're figuring it out as we go too, just like you are. So if we had it all together, we told you what to do, that's kind of boring. We're figuring it out just like you are, which is why in our Olive Garden studio again today, we don't have the best setup in the world, and it's okay. Who cares? Hopefully there's some value here. So how do you want to go about it, Matt, as far as talking about the mascot? I've got some things written down. I can maybe start if you're okay with that. Yeah. I would say this was skillfully designed by a young man. I talked about that already, and was given thought, right? And I think like you have an artist like the young man that did this, Luke. He put thought into it. It wasn't just here's a cool logo, because AI can do that, right? AI can put a cool logo together. Sometimes it'll struggle getting some of the details, but I'm sure the better prompt you get, the better thing you get. But I think this was cool. Like, this was an authentic design by someone's mind and their heart and what they knew and loved about the brand. So I guess I'll start. I'm assuming at some point, Matt, we'll put this on the screen so people can see it. But yeah, so it's a skull, and that's Scully. Is it Skullie, I believe, if I can spell that right. I'm good at spelling on paper, but not out loud. But so I guess we'll start with, again, this is a very small detail, but again, the mind of an artist. The logo is slightly tilted to the left, which I didn't even see it until Luke pointed it out to me years ago. And that shows forward movement. Instead of being like completely straight or squared, right? It's tilted ever so slightly to the left, which I think movement in the No Alumni space, we've probably already talked about it. Do you want to take, I think if we kind of bump through these pretty quick, like what are your thoughts, Matt, on movement and what, like, having slight movement or just him thinking about that when he designed the logo? What does that mean to you with No Alumni and Scully?
Well, I think we've already said it. I think we are moving the ball forward, right? Some days and weeks, maybe a little bit. Some days and weeks, maybe a lot. But the one thing that's true about No Alumni is that the status quo is not good with us. So there's always momentum moving forward. Again, the speed and rate might be variable, but there is intrinsically movement forward. Moving that ball down the field every day is a major commitment of No Alumni and of the work that we are gathering, resources and people for and towards, and it just influences. So the idea of momentum and constant forward progress is captured and Luke's.
It's very slight, right? Because it's not like there's like wind behind him, like you could see he's like flying through the air, but it is a subtle thing.
Yeah.
And I think because you said it, sometimes everyone, and I try this with my own life, I try to do my best every day and do things with excellence every day. There are some days where that level is higher and lower, but I think as long as most days we are moving that ball forward a little bit, I think that can sometimes be considered a win. And someday you're going to kick it and it's going to go 50 yards, right? And other days it's just, I moved it an inch and it's all I could do is get through the day, and that's okay. We're human beings. But that's great. It's a great point. I want to move on to the eyes, and we can always come back and talk. Or if you guys have thoughts about it, what does it mean to you? Like, leave a comment below. Leave a comment. We'd love to. We're going to respond. Certainly, we always want to respond, but certainly as we are young in this, and certainly don't get a ton of comments, we're going to respond to what you got. We want to hear what you think. So please, like, what does it mean to you? Why do you like it? Why do you hate it? It's also okay too. So, NA in the eyes expresses unity, belonging, and vision towards action and change. And we already talked about it a bunch, positive disruption. So maybe that seems corny or a little abstract, but really we talked about community. And I think if you have the vision and you can look at it through the lens of No Alumni and or this podcast, the New Game, Old Game podcast, I think there's a lot of things that can give clarity. And then having community, being able to have community, and what's the word, Matt? Collaboration.
Yep.
Like, man, especially for those that didn't go to college, right? So it's, Matt went to college and I saw him at a football game and they're high-fiving. They don't even know each other, but they're a brotherhood and a sisterhood because they have that shared experience. Those of us that, we have the same shared experience, we just don't have that brotherhood or sisterhood. So I think, I don't know. I'm going to say it. Who knows if it ever happens, but I can see having groups across the country of people that get together, they network, and they just find community in each other, having No Alumni groups throughout the country in different chapters. We've already had interest here locally with someone that we've got to finish. We got to close that loop. And also a gentleman from Oklahoma City that's interested in maybe doing something. So that'd be cool. So I really think it expresses unity. That's what it means to me. Matt, what do you think?
No, I think that's exactly right. When you think of someone's face, and this is true for Scully too, as our icon, the eyes are central. So we wanted to capture No Alumni, the vision, the unity, the belonging, kind of that core purpose, with this central place, this focal point of Scully's faith. And I just was going to add to what you said. We are, in a lot of ways, we are in our infancy. No Alumni has been around just a couple of years, but in much more recent time has some, horsepower been turned up on that engine. So we're growing. So the point is, if you are in Oklahoma City, or if you're in Las Vegas, or if you're in the Mountain West, or the Southeast, or the East Coast, doesn't matter where you are. If you're there and you're interested in No Alumni, certainly plug in to us and to this podcast as a connection or a lifeline. But there's so much more beyond that, and we want to support you in pursuing what those avenues are. So, hey, you want to be a No Alumni captain or ambassador or promoter, wherever life takes you or wherever life has you right now, hit us up, because we are ripe to multiply and grow our reach and have this meaningful conversation and this meaningful vision spread across the country. Everybody's worthy of being a part of a community like this. Everybody's worthy of professional dignity. There's not one right way, and we just think, hey, we need help to amplify that message. So if you're interested in that, we'll send you Scully, we'll send you swag, we'll send you whatever it takes to get this message far and wide.
Matt's going to pay for that too. It's on Matt's dime. Matt is relatively well off.
They call me Captain Moneybags.
I love it. No, but we'll figure that out. But that's something. Let's have a problem like that to figure out for sure. Let's move on to the smile. And I have smirk. I don't know if it's more of a smirk. I think it's a smile. Smirk maybe smirk. But And I think this is important because the journey is going to be exciting. And I think even fun. I don't love the word fun. I also don't love the word happy, but I think fulfilled is a good word. But I think exciting is I would say as a generic word is a good word because I think through life, Matt, maybe we don't need examples because I want to keep it short-ish, but I think we always want to get to the destination in life. And we forget sometimes that like this part, like this, say we get somewhere with this and this does what we want it to do. Like we're going to look back on this time in this Olive Garden office here in Elyria, Ohio. Like, wow, that was freaking cool. Right. And I think that a lot of times we're trained and programmed to just buzz through life, get to the next thing. But like what I think this logo does for me with the smile, it's like the journey is going to be exciting. It can be fun. It can be enjoyable, but enjoy the journey. Like what's the quote? Like sometimes you don't know you're in the good times until they're gone. Or I know there's been a bunch of different quotes like that. I totally botched that.
Or the Beatles or
something.
Some old man music that I'm not familiar with.
Oh, because you're so young. But yeah, okay. But you're right. But right? You agree at least at some point.
Well, I think
maybe not.
I don't know what records you played back in the day, but I would say inherent in No Alumni's work and inherent in the New Game, Old Game podcast conversations, we are off-roading. We are pioneering. A part of our purpose and a part of our mission, sometimes stated more explicitly than others, it is to not do what's been done the last 50 years and the last 20 years. So there's an adventurous aspect to that. So I think that's what the smile on Scully and on our faces gets at is we know this is an adventure. We know this is this requires pioneering that will take us to places we don't have a map for.
Yeah.
That will take us off the paved road. And so I think that's really what this adventurous, exciting, which are I think better words than fun and happy, as you said.
Yeah.
I think that's what the smirk is getting at. And so
it's good work, right? Because when you're doing good work and the work is enjoyable, because work is work, right? So we can probably draw a line and say work is work. But I think if you're doing something that brings you joy, fulfillment, and you're doing something that helps others, at least for me, like it doesn't always feel like work.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's interesting. So you're right. It is an adventure. It is exciting. And I do think one thing, I meant to say this the other couple other podcasts. My buddy brought up, he's a sheriff, ex-sheriff. He just retired, not ex, I don't know. He retired. He's like, not that we don't promote drinking or that anybody should do a drinking game, but every time Matt says new game, old game, take a shot. Maybe it's just of sugar or maybe a sweet tart. It doesn't have to be alcohol.
Or an Arnold Palmer.
The
espresso on your
Snapple.
desk, whatever it is.
Is Snapple still a thing?
I forgot about Snapple.
I know. It was a big deal when I got married. Like in the 90s, it was a big deal.
They've been edged out by Red Bull and
I used to collect Snapple bottles
and all those.
Yeah,
oh my.
I know. I'm weird.
I would say back to this point though.
Sorry.
Like me personally, and I think you too, but I love change. I love adventure.
I didn't used to.
So I think that notion is embedded in the direction No Alumni always moves. So if you are change averse, if you like the status quo, if you know and already have the formula for what your work is going to look like for the next 10 years, 20 years, you might be pretty unsettled by the conversations we have on this podcast and by the whole personality and ethos of No Alumni. Just throwing that out there because there is really a hearty, adventurous spirit to No Alumni.
Yeah. And it's I don't think it's flippant or mean to be like, but yeah, I think there's got to be an edge to it. I think there's an edge there for a good reason. I don't know that we want to cross the line, but I think it's good to have an edge. It makes people pay attention. At least that's the hope, that there's an edge. And I think it's okay to speak our mind because people could agree with some of the things we say and disagree with others, and that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's why we have this podcast and other people have their podcast. And never would say that everything we say is right or applicable to everyone's life or business or situation, but certainly I think at least things to think about. I think that's good. I think if you walk away from any podcast or conversation with someone else and there's like, it kind of made you think a little bit, I think that's time well spent. I would think so.
All right,
you okay to move on?
Yeah. Tell me about these retro motorcycle guys.
All right, so my buddy Dave Hall, who is really, I would say, without Dave Hall, No Alumni doesn't exist. He's a good friend. Big Dave. He's not big Dave. He's just tall.
Oh,
he's not big.
He's big.
So when Dave stands next to me, if I stand next to Dave,
pure height.
yeah, we look like the number 10. he's the 1 and I'm the 0. So when we used to play music together, it's like, man, we look like the number 10, and he would laugh. But so Dave, big motorcycle guy, been one of my best friends here for, gosh, I don't know, 15, maybe close to 20 years. I knew him in high school, but we weren't friends, and we connected after high school. So that's interesting. But Dave's a big Harley guy, big motorcycle guy. And maybe, I don't know if we're able to do that, Matt, if we're that technologically advanced, but we can find a picture of Dave and put him up on our video, where you can see Dave in some really cool old school motorcycle goggles, because he's a motorcycle guy, and that's what these represent. So it's really a tribute to our good friend and co-founder and my brother Dave. And it's really what it signifies with Scully is being ready to take off, action, and movement also. And I think with the goggles, I think of goggles, the reason you'd wear them is to see better, so clarity. I think also probably there's a level of protection there to protect that vulnerable part of your body when you're riding a motorcycle. And I even think I wrote down community, and I don't know why. Maybe that doesn't make sense. It made sense when I wrote it down. It doesn't make so much sense now as I'm saying it out loud. But what do you think about the goggles? That's what I have written down and what I've always thought. And I think what Luke had in mind, but certainly a tribute to our buddy Dave, for sure.
Yep. I think you're right. I think tribute to Dave is right. Dave is the bomb. He will be on this podcast soon. I can guarantee that. So look forward to that. And similar to the tilt, and similar to the personality of No Alumni as a whole, which we've already talked about in the last few minutes, there's a momentum, there's a movement, there's a disdain for the status quo and stagnation. So the goggles represent that, because we're strapped up and we're ready to move.
Yeah, I love it. I dig it. Enough said about that. We could go on forever about each of these, but we want to get through. We got a couple more quick ones, and then we'll let you go. Or if you're already gone, come back. So the crack in the skull. So there is. I thought this was always an important part. The crack in the skull signifies the bumps, bruises, scars along the way, making all of our stories unique. And I don't know. Like, I remember, our first son Nolan, who's also involved in No Alumni, but when he was a baby, it's like, or when you have something new, maybe it's a new watch, a shiny watch, or a new vehicle. But I'm going to talk about Nolan. It's like when you bump your head and you get a scar, right? Or a scratch. Like he, at one point he didn't have that. And now like he was going to go the rest of his life with that little scar on his hand or on his face or whatever. Right. And I think it's just, everyone has a journey. Everyone's got bumps and bruises. And I think it's being a part of a community. Man, does it help when we get hurt and we get bruised, we get knocked down, we get scarred, to have each other to lean on. And the crack in the skull represents that I think none of us get through this life without a crack and without things and without, baggage that we, can help each other bear, for sure. But I think the crack is one of the most, I'd say, important things. And even this logo here, if you see on my shirt, we have a hard hat on this one, because we certainly are all, we love the trades. Like, that's a big part of what we promote and pursue. But like, it's even important to have it in the hard hat, because I think removing the crack removes, I think, the soul of this mascot, the soul of Scully. And maybe I'm over analyzing a little bit, but I think the crack's important.
The crack's really important. I think the crack is what makes us human.
Yeah.
And because we're human, we've got to do this together. That's the community element that we've talked about, and then you just mentioned really eloquently. And then the crack also makes us unique. Each person is unique. Each person is valuable. Each person is going to have their own collections of wins and losses, of victories and scars. And so we wanted Scully to portray that in a really vibrant way. And that's what we see. And that's what we mean with the crack on the top of Scully's head.
Yeah, I think it represents a lot. We could go real deep with that maybe someday. Maybe it's something we ask our visitors, like, what's your crack? What are some cracks that you've taken on in life? Because if people can be vulnerable like that, I think that can be very powerful. Definitely. So let's move to the last one, if you're cool with it.
Yep.
And just in general, the skull. And I know it's another skull on another hoodie. My goodness, how much do you see that? But it's important in this way. Scully signifies being no alumni to the bone. And so it's really, I think it's a brand. I think it's a movement. I think it's a community that, to me, it's like part of who I am. I don't have a tattoo yet, but I imagine if I were ever to get a tattoo, it'll be Scully, because it's just part of who I am. I think what the work that we want to do is good work. I think it's honorable work to help others find their value and know their value and to build a community. So I think really, like, I don't know. I would usually cringe at someone saying, yeah, I want to get that logo tattooed on me, but I could see this one being something that someone would. And I would say, Matt, if we can get someone with a photographic evidence of someone that got Scully tattooed on them, they're getting a free hoodie, a free t-shirt. They're getting the gamut.
I don't know if a photograph will do it because AI is so good these days.
Yeah.
But if you come up here to Olive Garden and you've got a No Alumni tattoo, or if we could just meet you at a Panera someday and you've got a No Alumni tattoo, we will give you an orange Cadillac with the Scully on the side. No,
okay.
It'll probably be a Mattel.
Somebody will be the first. Somebody will be the first.
Yeah,
and maybe it's me, but I don't know. I'm kind of a scaredy cat.
Lifetime promotional partnership. If you tattoo this guy on,
not on your face. Let's keep it. Just be smart about it.
But what was I going to say?
I don't know. I probably threw you off.
Oh, well, the skull, the bones. It's
No Alumni to the bones.
No Alumni to the bones. It's a lasting idea. I remember what I was going to say now.
See?
We've found in our journeying and in our sharing of No Alumni as we've invited people to be partners and ambassadors and listeners and partakers and all the different things, all the different ways you can plug into and learn about No Alumni. Even our fans, our biggest group, I've found personally, you can disagree or
I'm gonna
add to this, but I have found this way of looking at the world, these ideas, these priorities in our work and in our life, these things really stick with people. So in that sense, I think No Alumni to the bones is an appropriate expression of Scully, that it conveys. This is like a full-throated, full committed way. This being No Alumni or thinking No Alumni or thinking New Game Old Game principles at a clip of like 5% of your life or 5% of your day wouldn't really make sense in my experience. In my experience, the people who love what we're talking about here, the people who support us, our fans, they really are No Alumni to the bones. That it permeates the way they live, the way they work, the clothes they wear, the network that they run in, the relationships they hold dear, all of it. So I think there's a really important idea there that it's No Alumni to the bones, and it's not an insincere effort. It's not a shallow brand or concept or icon to identify with, but it really is like, no, man, there's like weight and substance here, and for whatever reason, what we've done with No Alumni to date, more times than I can count and more times than not, has resonated with people in that way where it's like, whoo, there's substance there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love that. It was. I'm not going to add to it because I think it was well done, and I don't want to spoil it. I know we're getting long here, and something I made fun of Matt. Yeah, I made fun of him. Like his long outros, like his 10-minute droning outros about liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. Like, we're not going to do it. I think I just did it, so you don't have to do it. So there might be this. It's possible, Matt. You don't talk again on this podcast, this specific one. Well, he's He's just ready to jump in to add his 2 cents to the closing because I told him, I said, Matt, we can't have a 15-minute closing.
I blame you for what I'm about to say. It's not going to be a 15-minute closing. It won't even be a 5-minute closing.
Oh, it can't be 5 minutes.
I'll never do a long closing again.
Okay.
You're going to hear it either today or next time. It'll be a really great, quick emphasis on quick closing. I did want to say.
Oh, here we go.
Because earlier, Greg used a couple of words that have meant a lot in our work at No Alumni. He used the words joy and productivity. And one of the ways I want to share this, I think it's important.
Fulfillment too. Sorry.
I think it's exciting. Fulfillment too.
Sorry.
One of the things No Alumni has been able to do over the course of the last year in an increasing way is we got certified and became facilitators in the 6 types of working genius. Now you might say, what is that? I've never heard of that. And by golly, I'm so glad you asked, because we are going to have an episode soon that really gives a full talk and treatment to the 6 types of working genius. But beyond being a brand, beyond being a community, beyond being a network that you can plug into. All those things are true and great, but one of the most exciting iterations and growth tracks that No Alumni has been on has been, like I said, by becoming facilitators and leaders and purveyors of the 6 types of working genius. And the 6 types of working genius is a tool that allows anybody, could be an individual, could be a team, individuals and teams, to become more self-aware of themselves and of each other, so that in their work and in their lives, they can experience greater levels of joy, greater levels of production or productivity, and greater fulfillment, or leading to greater fulfillment. We might say that in your life and in your work, if your joy is increased and your productivity is increased, a natural byproduct or an unavoidable outcome is greater fulfillment. And as we've worked with businesses, as we've worked with churches, as we've worked with individuals in the 6 types of working genius, we have had amazing feedback, amazing results. I can't wait till we have an episode to talk more about it. And I can't wait till our next event comes, where we're brought in to help a team go through the 6 types of working genius. It's a powerful framework. I'll finish with this.
I'm going to finish after you.
If you've ever done a DISC assessment or a predictive index or a culture index or a Myers-Briggs or a strengths finder, blah, 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 those are all good, and I don't mean to blah, blah them away. Actually,
but you did.
I did. In my professional life, I've used all those. In my personal life, I've used almost all those. And there are others like them. I just mentioned that because that's a good analog, or that would give you a good illustration of what the 6 types of working genius is, except for the 6 types of working genius is way better. It's a shorter assessment, so the barrier to entry is much smaller. It also gives better outputs. So you get better info, and I haven't found anyone yet who is not for greater levels of joy and productivity in life and in work.
The biggest thing I've found in the feedback we get, it's instantly actionable, which I think is amazing. And I interrupted you.
Those other assessments are more like, well, how do I like to communicate, or how does my brain work, or when I'm in this scenario, I'm predisposed to do X, Y, and Z. And again, that's all good stuff. We should all know about ourselves in those ways and in even greater ways. We should. But the 6 types of working genius is more of a straight line to more joy and more productivity and more fulfillment in daily life, at work and at home and in other places. And it is, like Greg said, and like I already said, the barrier to entry is smaller. It's almost like a shortcut to have action steps. Like it's directly actionable immediately. It's great in a team. When you've got awareness about yourself and about others, you can navigate that situation so much better.
If you implement it and you do it right, and you have somebody good that facilitates it, I think we do a pretty good job. And I know there are others, right? And we didn't write the book, right? So I would say it's a foundational tool. Like, I think without the 6 types of working genius, we'd be amiss. And I think we don't have to rewrite it when something exists that's already amazing. So we did spend money. We got certified in it. And it's great. We've had some great at-bats, right? We've worked with multi-billion-dollar companies, which we're not joking. We've worked with, million-dollar companies, and then small organizations and small nonprofits. So, and even like a small, a small business here in town that does physical therapy. So we've had runs the gamut, right? So is it gamut or gambit, whatever that word is? I've probably always got that wrong, but yeah, we'll talk about it more, maybe sooner than later, because now Matt has completely teased the crap out of it. So I think we need to talk about it probably sooner than later, which I'm good with. I would love that.
I think it's interesting to note, we didn't necessarily plan this, we being Greg and myself, and we also meaning the No Alumni leadership team. We didn't necessarily plan it, but you have told us, the marketplace has told us, this world out there where ideas are circulated and actions are taken, we have found that those who've taken us up on conversations and actually going through the 6 types of working genius process have been blown away. So we love it. We are responding to the opportunity to serve people, to help people grow in their levels of self-awareness, to grow in their levels of joy, production, and fulfillment at life and at work. And so we would love to talk more about the 6 types of working geniuses in a future episode.
It's coming up soon. Who gets the last word? Me.
You do. Take it away.
Me. You. Come on, you got to fight for it.
Oh, no. It's all you.
No, I already kind of said it. Just, subscribe, comment. Those are important, huge things that help us on all platforms, and certainly we will get back to you. We want your feedback. And someone is absolutely listening, a real human being. It'll be Matt and I, one of us that will comment back.
Long.
Stop. You're right. He's right. See you later.
Bye.